Welcome back to the DFS Sweatshop. I am your host, the DFS Jerusalem, and you can follow me, of course, on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. Today, we are going to be talking a little bit about last night's MLB action. Also, taking a look forward to tomorrow's. We got 15 games in the all day, but we got 13 games going to be a part of our main slate at 7:05 p.m. We're going to take a look at pitching in regards to that slate, and just to go over a little bit of the action from today. I sent out my tweet, man, the one I always sent out, asking who will be the gang stack of tonight's MLB slate. The Yankees 31%, Dodgers 32% leading. You had the Seattle Mariners, and my favorite personal stack was the Pittsburgh Pirates. That was my $12 stack. Did not work out well for me. Was not a positive night for me. I'm going to show you exactly how tonight's shaped out, because guess what? I show the wins. I got to show the losses. That's just me. I got to be real. I got to stay true to who I am and what I've been doing, right? So, went with my normal $61 buy-in, but a lot of craziness went on for me. I did have a fair amount of Boston Red Sox exposure and Minnesota Twins exposure throughout some of my lineups, and I got scared, thought at a certain point that the game may not play, so I immediately changed some stuff around. Got a lot of the Boston guys out and the Minnesota guys out of my lineups, which kind of changed the landscape of what I was trying to do, so to speak. But for all intents and purposes, it just wasn't a really great night for me. I entered 65 total and got back 31. My very best lineup, I'm going to show you. My very best lineup was. It ended up being the Detroit stack, because when I got off of the Boston, I got onto Detroit. There's two stacks I got off. I got off of Detroit, Boston, and I got off of Minnesota. And I got on Detroit, and I got on Philadelphia. Those are my two other stacks that I got on. And this was a pretty good line, man. Newcomb Severino, which was probably the best pitcher, probably the best pitcher combination you could have had tonight. Had Perez, Cabrera, Kinsler, Castellanos, JT Riddle, who I talked about a lot in the first class, Bellinger, which I probably shouldn't have paid up that much for Bellinger in the spot. JD Martinez was a guy who just went off, the only guy that I had out of all of my lineups that really went ham. And Justin Upton was a 0, and that sucked. And then my next best lineup was actually the Philadelphia stack. So the last two lineups that I made were my best two on the slate. And, of course, this one, Scherzer, Severino, Stewart with a 0 from Pittsburgh, Joseph, Howie Kendrick, Franco Gregorius, Altier Martinez, and Daniel Nava. So was a negative night for the boy. Lost about 34 in total. But you know what? That's why that bankroll management is key. Because if you look at, I had roughly 600 in my account, and I played 10%. You know what I mean? I got to be feeling really jiggy to play any more than that. And I can tell you, this is why today's slate was so ugly. This is why today's slate was so ugly, because the pitching was good. Whenever we have good pitching, when nobody gets hit up, I'm gonna take a look just to see, because if you go on the DK Live app, there you can see what everybody did for the day, and I'm looking at Junior Guerrero was the worst pitcher on the slate. Nobody played him. Jake Arrieta was another negative guy. Nobody played him. Nobody played Taijuan Walker. Nobody played Matt Strahm. Nobody played Hector Santiago. Nobody played Gesselman. Biagini wasn't very highly owned. Matt Cain wasn't a guy that you liked. So from Dan Straley on up, everybody was in the positive. Everybody was in the positive. Shout out to Edwin Neves, man. His White Sox beat my Yanks today. The bullpen brigade came in and gave that one up, man. That kind of sucked. But pitching was good today, man. Like, all of the pitchers were decent. Like, nobody really, like, sucked an egg. I mean, you had Tyson Ross at 5.4 go out and get you 19 DraftKings points. You had Clevenger, go out and get you, 27. Nola got you 28. Newcomb, a guy that we were on. So all of my pitchers were good. Like, everything was great as far as pitching. I just did not get the bats. Nobody went off. And when no pitcher that people play, like when no chalk pitcher gets shelled, it kind of breaks the slate a little bit, to where you're not going to be separated immediately, because a lot of people, now see, I thought it was going to happen to Scherzer. I was like, yes, if Scherzer gets hit up, oh my God, because he was 40% owned in some contest I was in, and I didn't have a ton of Scherzer. I mean, I had some exposure, but I didn't have a ton of Scherzer. And when we see stuff like that happen, I think that is really what makes the difference, especially for a guy like me that is a strict tournament player. So let's go ahead, man. We're gonna open it up, man. Jump into the slate. The bat, yeah, yo, Samuel at the drum. Heard you had a good night, homie. Yeah, the bats won the money tonight. If you got your bats right, man, you were good, because pitching was pretty much, good across the board. Like, no pitcher that was, highly owned or highly talked about or highly touted. None of those pitchers got hit hard. None of them. Like, everybody. I mean, Kenta Maeda, 29. He was a guy that we liked. He's a guy that we liked. I didn't play him. He was second in scoring. You looked at Scherzer. He was like the sixth highest scoring pitcher on the slate, 25.7. So it was just a good one. Everybody got saved, bro. Everybody that played Scherzer got saved because it was bats. It was all about the bats. So well, still a good night though. Still a good night. Did not lose the entire buy-in. Still got some more to play with. So we're gonna be taking a look here. Yo, the Phillies, man. Yo, I made a Philly stack because I got off of Detroit. I got off of Minnesota and I got off of Boston because of the weather concerns. So I made 2 more stacks, and I said, fuck it, I'm gonna stack Philly and I'm gonna stack Detroit. And those ended up being the best stacks that I had out of everything. Pittsburgh sucked. I mean, who would have thought that? And then the dude, Cobb has 24 points. He didn't even like go ham. He just did not let anybody get a hit until deep into the game, and it sucked, man. It sucked. It sucked. And I thought it was gonna go into extra innings, maybe 11, 12 extra innings, and I thought it would, but the Pittsburgh bats just could never get it together. And once I saw John Jason win the game, I was like, yeah, I'm dead. I'm done. So let's go ahead, man. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff today. We're going to talk about pitching, of course. We're going to be reviewing park factors, kind of help us to gauge where we... that helped me a lot. The park factors helped me a lot today. It really did. The park factors thing is a big help, and that's why we talk about it here at the shop. So let's go ahead, man, and jump right into it. We're going to be coming, of course, from RotoQL, my favorite site to use, not just in terms of research, but as I always like to tell you, even Paxton pitched well, but all of those Philadelphia runs came later in the game. Like Altier hit the home run in the ninth for no reason. It was like a meaningless home run. It helped me out, but he didn't have to. You know what I'm saying? Freddie Galvis up 4 or 5 runs. He's stealing second base. So like I said, we do have 15 games on deck. The first 2, the 340 and the 345 games, those are not going to be a part of the DraftKings main slate. We're going to be working from Tampa Bay, Pittsburgh, all the way through Atlanta, San Diego. That Atlanta stack was pretty decent, too. My 4 stacks today were Pittsburgh, bad, Atlanta, decent, Miami was decent, and also those and the Dodgers, which really didn't. The Dodgers really wasn't hitting on shit either. Like, they didn't like come out and rake. Bellinger 11 points. You know what I mean? It just wasn't a great night for batters. Like, nobody went off. I think the leading scorer on the night, as far as the batters were concerned, was Trey Turner. And he didn't even do that hitting the ball. Like, he did that stealing bags, bro. He had 4 stolen bases. And then you had the Chris Young kid from Boston. Of course, the next 2 leading scorer guys were Chris Young and Christian Vasquez, both from Boston. The guys that I got off. The guys that I felt like I couldn't play. Then you had George Springer and Michael A. Taylor. Then followed by J.D. Martinez. And Mark Reynolds is on deck right now, so he might get another bat in that Colorado-San Francisco game. But pretty good night at DFS, though. Still, hey, that's why we play. It's a long season. Sometimes you got to take a step back so you can get a running start forward, okay? So let's go ahead and jump into the slate. We're going to take a look at the pitching for the most part. First game we got is going to be the Philadelphia Phillies and the Seattle Mariners. I'm going to open up DraftKings just so we can have a good look. Just so we can have a good look here at and make sure we've got the right pitching. Because sometimes RotoQL can be kind of flaky and they will have the wrong pitchers on the slate. No slight to y'all at RotoQL. Y'all still a dope site, and I fuck with y'all a long way. Y'all should pay me for the way I market you guys. You should. All right, so So we got first game, Philadelphia, Seattle. We got Felix Hernandez, Mark Leiter Jr. Let's take a quick look at this one, man. Yo, Mark Leiter Jr. in his first MLB start had a really good game, 25.1 fantasy points. It was against Arizona in Arizona. So if you think you can't play him at Safeco, which we know is an extreme pitcher's park, that might be something to look at. We're taking a look here. We're going to go to Safeco in Seattle. This is the 29th ranked park in the league. So this is like, you know, if you want to play a pitcher, I think a pitcher from this game could definitely interest you here. What's happening is in Safeco Field, 84 runs are produced for every 100 runs produced in the average MLB park, and 86 home runs are produced for every 100 home runs produced in the average MLB park. So this is a really extreme pitchers park here, and I think, you know, that's going to lend some consideration to not only Mark Leiter but to Felix Hernandez at 9.3. Now in his last start, it wasn't bad, 18.1 fantasy points. Now the dude is getting over the hill, very old guy, and was once one of the top pitchers in the league. So he does know how to pitch. He knows how to pitch. Whether his body can still perform in that way, that remains to be seen consistently, but he knows how to pitch. And against this Philadelphia team, you know, this is a team that, yo, you can get the ball by him. So I have interest, light interest in Mark Leiter, but I do have an increasing interest in Felix Hernandez in the early. This is going to be a part of the early slate. Next game we got is the Colorado Rockies and the San Francisco Giants. As you know, the best pitcher's paradise here in the league today is going to be in Colorado. Excuse me, in San Francisco. We got Ty Block at 5.7, a guy who I vowed to never ever play again after the way he did me the last time I played him. Negative 14.45 against the Mets. He got hit up and shelled. I can definitely see that happen against the Colorado Rockies. So I'm not going to play him in the early. I'm going to have way more interest in Kyle Freeland and some of the Colorado Rockies backs, like most people will. That's just going to be where I'm going. I'm not playing Ty Block. The first game on the main slate is going to be the Tampa Bay Rays and the Pittsburgh Pirates. We got Ivan Nova at 6.4 and Blake Snell at 6K. Now, Nova has had some very good starts this season. Now, it kind of tailed off at a certain point, but he picked it back up. We're looking at, in his last 4 starts, 9.35, 20, 24.9, 11.9, all solid showings that we can look at for Ivan Nova at 6.4. Going to be going up against the Tampa Bay Rays, guys who can really hit for power against right-handed pitching. Blake Snell at 6K, not a guy that I'm going to be interested in. I think I was a day early on the Pittsburgh Pirates, so I'm going to go back to that well. Christopher Marie agrees with me, says he likes Pittsburgh back to the spot. I think that's where I'm going to be going. Let's take a look at the park factors involved. I think Pittsburgh is more of a pitcher's park, but we're going to take a look at it for sure so that we know. It is. Yeah, PNC, you know, 93 runs produced for every 100 home runs on average, and 78 home runs for every 100 home runs produced. So this is a tough place to hit, but at the same time, man, I just Blake Snell lefty-righty matchup. I kind of like the Pittsburgh Pirates bats. I'm gonna be going here again. Brad, what's up, big homie? Next game we got the Chicago Cubs and the Washington Nationals. We got John Lackey here and Steven Strasburg. The first thing I want to say is what I always tell you, what I told you last time. Strasburg is not Scherzer, bro. I cannot stress that to you enough. At 11.6, Strasburg is not an 11K pitcher to me. He's just not. He's just not. And I don't want him. I'm good. I'm not gonna play Strasburg. I'm not. I should have never paid up for Scherzer today because I was so set on Severino. And we got in the line drive, and I did something that I tell a lot of you not to do all the time. Don't get off what you already got. If anything, add to what you have with what you pick up from the line drive. So, yo, Strasburg is a no for me. I'm not playing Strasburg, especially against the Chicago Cubs here. I know those guys are going to want to come out and have a solid showing based off what happened yesterday. I'm not touching Strasburg in this spot. Then you got John Lackey at 6.7. Of course, I'm not going to play Lackey against the Nationals here. The Washington Nationals, the national park that is actually a neutral site, so it leans more toward talent, and more talent is going to be on the Washington Nationals side batting. That's where I'm going to be looking. We got 0% chance of rain here, 6 mile per hour wind going out toward center field. 30% humidity with 80 degrees there. Should be hot. And 52 is the dew point. That's going to be good to go tomorrow. This game, we got the Baltimore Orioles and the Toronto Blue Jays. You got Wade Miley, bro. Wade Miley gives it up. Yo, Wade Miley is like a prom date. Okay, he's like a prom date. Wade Miley gives up the booty. Okay, and I think I'm really gonna hop on a lot of the Toronto bats in this spot. We also have Marcus Stroman at 9K. A guy, he's not a K pitcher. He's not gonna go out and strike out everybody, but I think he is a guy that can get the ball past a lot of the Baltimore Orioles here. So he is going to garner some consideration for me on a 13-game slate. I do like Stroman in the spot. And Christopher Marie, the homie, agrees with me, so that's pretty good. Next game we got is going to be the Minnesota Twins and the Boston Red Sox. We've got 0% chance of rain. Thank you in this spot. 46% humidity with 77 mile per hour wind. Still a 10.5 run total. We got Alberto Mejia at 5.2. Rick Porcello at 6.8. Yo, Porcello is so cheap, man. He is so cheap. And it's hard to forget that this dude was a Cy Young winner, man. And Rick Porcello is just so cheap right now. At 6.7, the price is dropping. Like, he had a good game. And the price, oh, man, he's cheap. He's cheap. I mean, he went up 100. And against the Minnesota Twins. We're going to take a look at the Twins here and see exactly what they do in terms of K rates. I think they're 22.4% K rate for them, 177 ISO, just above league average, 323 WOBA. It's going to be tough to play Porcello against the Minnesota bats, man. But I think I've got a feeling that could be a play for us to look to. Not going to play Mejia here at 5.2. No way. Can definitely load up on some of those Boston bats in Fenway. We're going to look at the park factors here in Fenway, and we're going to say this is going to be, sort of a neutral park here. I've got 111 runs are produced for every 100 runs in the average MLB park, but 90 home runs are produced for every 100 homers. They've got that big green monster out toward left field, so not a lot of homers we're going to see coming out of there in terms of league averages. So, yeah, Boston bats are definitely going to be in play. Boston bats are going to be in play. Next game we got is going to be the okay. Chris Marie says he likes the bats here. So no, I can agree with that certainly. Ronald DFS has joined the squad. What's up, big homie? Good to see you, fam. Now next game we got is going to be the Milwaukee Brewers and the Cincinnati Reds here. We got Luis Castillo at 5.4. Let's go over to DraftKings just to make sure these are the guys that we have here. Yeah, Castillo and Chase Anderson. Yo, Anderson's a guy that I leaned on last time up, man. He didn't disappoint. 9.7, the price is up on him just a touch. But at 9.4, he gave us 24.5, which is decent. At 9.6, he gave us 18. His last, 6 starts have been pretty good. 39, 31, 25, 24, 18, 24. That's not bad. That's not bad. And, the Cincinnati Reds are a team that can really hit. We saw them rake today. This was actually my favorite game stack yesterday, the Milwaukee Brewers and the Cincinnati Reds, and it turned out to be probably the highest scoring game on the slate, actually. So I did get that call right, and I hope some of you were able to take advantage of that. When Billy Hamilton hit the jack, I was like, oh shit, tonight's gonna be fucked up, because this dude never hits home runs. You know what I mean? Never. And when Billy Hamilton hit the jack first, I was like, oh my god, this is a tough night for me, because I'm usually on these cats usually. So you got Castillo is a no for me. I think we can go back to a lot of those Milwaukee Brewers bats here. Chase Anderson at 9.7 is a guy that I am going to consider, because I think a lot of people are going to want to play so much Cincinnati, and they're gonna really not take a look at Chase Anderson and see what he does in the spot. So we're gonna look. And this is a very friendly, this is a Great American Ballpark, man. This is very friendly to hitters, man. Park Factors will tell you that this is a place where you can play bats, man. This is the 3rd ranked hitters park in the league. You got 104 runs for every 100 runs produced around the average of MLB parks, but 130 home runs for every 100 homers around the league. So this is an extreme hitters park, man. And that's why, I think that we can see some solid batting for not only the Milwaukee Brewers, but a couple of the Cincinnati Reds here. So the next game, we got Texas Rangers and the Cleveland Indians. We got Trevor Bauer throwing that nasty curveball that gets knocked all around the yards a lot of times against Yu Darvish at 10.9. If Yu Darvish's last Last start didn't tell you that you can play him pretty much under any circumstances. I don't know what, man. You can play Hugh Darvish here. 10.9. He's going to be a guy a lot of people are not going to want to get up to, but I kind of like Hugh Darvish in this spot. I also like some of the left-handed power against Trevor Bauer. Didn't mean to make that rhyme. At 6.2, 9, 27, 13, negative 0.5, 1.95. Not great pitching for him at all. Now, we do know that the Rangers are one of the top teams in the league in terms of K rate, and by top I mean bottom. Like, those cats strike out a ton. They are actually first in the league, 26.6% K rate. But you look at that ISO, baby. Boy, you look at that ISO. And see, what this means is, okay, what this means to me, when you have a team like the Rangers who have a K rate of 26.6% and an ISO of 250, not even to mention the 344 WOBA, what this means to me is if you have them up against a pitcher that is prone to mistakes and letting the off-speed pitches or the pitches with movement, the curveball, the sliders, letting them lay across the plate just a pinch too long, that shit can leave the yard. That shit can leave the yard. And that's why I think I'm gonna like some Rangers tomorrow, because I'm not gonna ignore the fact that they strike out more than any other team in the league, but I'm also not gonna ignore why they strike out more than any other team in the league. It's because they are leading the league in ISO right now, and they are really tearing the cover off the ball at an amazing clip. Okay, actually, in the last 14 days, they're third to Dodgers and the Astros, but they have been raking recently. They have been raking in terms of home runs. So I'm definitely going to have some exposure to some of those Texas bats against Trevor Bauer, without a doubt. Next game we got now Hugh Darvish. I mean, it's not like he's just, you know, a guy who's unhittable, you know. So of course you can play some Cleveland Indians if you like, but we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that in the line drive at 5, man. And if you want to be a part of that, go to the website. It's www.dfssweatshop.com. That's where when the lineups come out around 5 o'clock, between 5 and 5:30. We all get in as a group and we build our lineups together, man. And you know, we don't share the same lineup and all of that crazy, stupid collusion shit, but we actually get in and build and chop it up. And everybody comes out with things that they feel confident about, and we roll into the slate with confidence as a group, and we go and try to take shit down. So Hugh Darvish, like I said, is a guy that I do have a high amount of consideration for, and I'm going to be taking a look at him a little bit more closely tomorrow. Next game we got is the Kansas City Royals and the Detroit Tigers. We got Daniel Norris at 6.6 and Ian Kennedy at 6.3. Now, the Royals have been a team, the train is going by. I live on the wrong side of the tracks, my bad, baby. You know what I'm saying? Ian Kennedy, the Royals are a team that toward the beginning of the season, man, I love to attack them, especially, you know, with left-handed pitching. But I've since learned that you can't do that. Because the Royals have been hitting, man. The Royals have definitely been hitting. We're going to take a look at what they've been doing, man. Fairly disciplined at the plate, the Royals are. I think they're toward the bottom half of the league in terms of K rates, 19.3%, 186 ISO, far enough above league average to kind of fear the bats. 328 WOBA, very decent. So I think that in this spot, while most of the time I would be willing to attack them, I think you can play you know, a collection of Royals tomorrow. I kind of like I like it. You can play some Royals tomorrow. Ian Kennedy at 6.3. Don't love a lot of the righty stuff we're going to see against the Detroit Tigers, but I definitely think a lot of those guys are going to be playable. Oh, okay. Christopher Reed says he might have some interest in Norris here. Next game we got the New York Mets and the Miami Marlins here. 9-mile-per-hour wind. Let's take a look at the Detroit park factor too to see exactly what type of park we're going to be in. All right, this is a middle park. It plays close to neutral. 103 runs they score in Comerica for every 100 runs scored around the league. 96 home runs in Comerica for every 100 homers that you see around the league. So it's a pretty neutral park here. Kennedy is garbage. Will pitch himself out by the 4th inning. I can agree. Certainly, I can agree. Certainly. Then you got the New York Mets here. 8.6 for Steven Matz. Jeff Locke 4.9. Yo, Locke is a bum. Locke is a bum, and you can play the South Carolina Gamecocks against Locke. You can stack the Gamecocks against Locke. Locke sucks, and I'm going to be playing some Mets tomorrow. Most certainly, this team hits a lot better on the road. We've got pretty much the full strength lineup here. You got, Granderson, Flores, Cespedes, Jay Bruce. Like, I like the Mets tomorrow. Right now, they're my front runner for one of my favorite games. I kind of like this one. I like this one. You got Steven Matz at 8.6. I would say that's priced up, man. But for the production we've been getting at 6.9, you got 18.7 in this type of matchup. I'm not gonna say you can't play Steven Matz against Miami here, but lefty matchups is pretty decent. The only guy that I'll be completely afraid of are gonna be guys like Ozuna and Stanton. That's it. But everybody else, I'm not scared of him. So Steven Matz, I'm gonna tag him as playable in the spot. The next game we got gonna be my New York Yankees exacting revenge for me against Edwin Neves and his band of Chicago White Sox that came in and stole a victory at their house last night. That sucked. We got Masahiro Tanaka at 8.3. Yes, I'll take some of that, most certainly. You got Carlos Rodon at 5.6. Not a guy that I think I'm going to be interested in. I'll take my chances with some of those Yankee bats here. We do have 18 miles per hour wind in U.S. Cellular Field coming back toward the infield with 12% chance of light rain. 76 degrees is the temperature with a 60-degree dew point. Taking a look at the park factor here, I believe that the White Sox, U.S. Cellular is fairly friendly, I think, it's fairly friendly to batters, man. It's a plus 115. So that means that, U.S. Cellular Field produces 106 runs for every 100 runs produced around the league, and 125 home runs for every 100 homers. So Edwin Neves, Rodon. Tell us about Rodon. What do you think about him in this trip against the Yankees, who have not really been hitting the ball, very well lately? You look at the Yanks here, man. They were once atop the league in all the categories. They've fallen to 6th. Actually, they've gone up to 6th in K rate, 24.1%. The ISO is all the way down, 152. You got a WOBA that's down, 304. Are the Yankees attackable in this spot? And I'm asking that to the homie Edwin Neves, our resident White Sox enthusiast. Carlos Rodon, has he had a start? He hasn't had a start so far this season. He's coming off of the DL, I believe. Rodon is pretty good. Okay. Well, at 5.6, man, against the Yankees, what does he have to do in order to have a decent game? I mean, he doesn't have to do a ton. So that's something we can look. He'll be having some Rodon. Okay, if he's not on the pitch count, Edwin Neves says if Rodon is not on the pitch count, he thinks that he's playable. So I'm going to mark him as playable, but we're going to have to take a look and read some stories and see exactly what his issue is in terms of coming back. Now, the Oakland A's and the Houston Astros is going to be the next one. We got Minute Maid Park on deck. Jesse Hahn at 5.3. That's a very cheap price. You got David Paulino at 6.5. Now, Paulino was a guy that I thought I could play and lean on after his first start. That 17.4 against Minnesota. Had been decent in his last 2 against Oakland and Boston. But, they're up against Oakland again. And if you got Jesse Hahn here at 5.3, a guy that a lot of folks were high on, but he got the shit kicked out of him last time. Negative 19.5 against Houston. So I definitely think some of those Houston bats are going to be playable here. Don't really love Hahn or Paulino. I don't think I can get with either one of those cats. Let's check out the park factors to see what it looks like in Houston. And we've got, I think it's a fairly neutral spot, man. Well, actually, it's a hitter's park. 99 runs produced for every 100 runs and 112 home runs for every 100 homers. This means that this is definitely a hitter's park here. Not an extreme hitter's park, but it's a hitter's park nonetheless. Next game we got is going to be the St. Louis Cardinals and the Arizona Diamondbacks. This game, I believe, went into extra innings, man. The Diamondbacks pushed it into extra innings. And you got Zach Godley on the mound at 8.8 and Adam Wainwright at 6.1. Wainwright, in his last start, 21 points against Pittsburgh. Very solid showing. Got shelled by the Baltimore Orioles in the game before that, and against Philadelphia, 13.85. I'm just not in love with Wainwright in this spot. I don't want to play a pitcher against the Diamondbacks in Arizona. Chase Field is one of those parks, man. You can look at it here in the park factors, where you're going to see it's 10th ranked in the league as far as 109 runs are produced here and 106 home runs for every 100 home runs produced around the league. So this is an extreme hitter's park, kind of Coarse light. So I definitely think that the zone of bats are going to be in play, and that's going to also make me take a look closely at Zach Godley, a guy that I've been leaning on in his last 4 starts. 26, 21, 20, 14, not bad at all. So I think Godley, it could be in line to get the win. So that would also make him playable for me, even in a 9.5 run total. The next game we got is going to be the LA Dodgers and the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Hyun-Jin Ryu, in his last start, I think he had a very solid one, but that's when the Dodgers were just giving him complete run support. But that was against Cincinnati, 19.2, 9.05 against the Mets. Not great there. Also, Alex Meyer at 5.9. The price on him is down at 7.6 against Kansas City. He went out and scored 33, but 0.7 against the Boston Red Sox. Don't think I can get to Alex Meyer here. I do think we could take a look at some of these, some of the lefties, the Dodgers lefties, most certainly against Alex Meyer in the spot. And I think that some Angels are going to be in play for me too against Hyun-Jin Ryu. Yeah, so I don't want to play either pitcher in this spot. I'm good. Yes, yeah, I definitely agree with you there. Now back to the Atlanta Braves here. We got Bartolo Colon at 5K and Luis Perdomo at 5.6. And can I tell you, I'm thinking about playing Bartolo in this, but I know the homie can go out. The last couple of starts ain't been that good, man. -5 against Philadelphia, -8 against Pittsburgh, 15 against Washington, 7 here, 28 last time against San Diego. That's the one thing that has me, kind of looking at it. It was early in the season, and this guy is like old as dirt. But at 5K, he says, the way I would approach it is I would have like San Diego Padres on deck ready to ride, but I also would have a Bartolo Colon share at 5K. I like it because honestly, there's no pitcher to really pay up for in the slate. Like there's nobody that's insanely high priced. So you can pretty much get any bat you want if you were to go cheaper in pitching. So Luis Perdomo at 5.6. I can't say that I don't like him as a play. 25 in his last start against Detroit. I do hate to attack the Atlanta Braves, but I hate it more so when they're at home. On the road, I can see them being in a spot where they don't score a ton of runs. Plus, if you think that you're going to get run support from the Padres by way of Bartolo Colon, then that makes Luis Perdomo a guy that you can play. So we've gone through the entirety of the slate. Stroman and Tanaka, what you're thinking? Okay, let's go back over and look at the pitching and just see what we've come up with. This is a base, something to look at, because people are making shows right now and they're saying, oh, play this guy, oh, this guy, but they don't know shit. You don't know anything. You don't know anything as far as batters until the actual batting orders come out. If you think you can make a lineup right now, or if you think that batting orders don't matter, you make a lineup right now and challenge me to a head-to-head, and you keep the same lineup you make. And I promise you, you let me. If I can do when the orders come out, I beat you every time. Okay, so take a look here. This is my initial player pool. Really, it's going to be shrunk down a lot. I usually try to stay around 4 pitchers on DraftKings that you can play 2, and 3 pitchers on FanDuel. So you've got Yu Darvish is a guy that I'm looking at. Felix Hernandez, Marcus Stroman, Zach Godley, Steven Matz, maybe some Masahiro Tanaka. No, I like Tanaka actually. And you got Carlos Rodon, Luis Perdomo, and Mark Leiter Jr., followed by the cheapest pitcher on the slate is going to be Bartolo Colon. The earliest Shelly candidate is going to be Jeff Locke. I think that dude gets blown up tomorrow. So, of course, this has been your DFS Jerusalem. You can follow me, of course, on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. Tomorrow, or Wednesday, excuse me, today, the line drive is not going to be at 5. It's going to be at 4. Because I have a Bible study at 6 and I got to travel an hour to get to my home church. So I'm going to do the line drive at 4 o'clock. We're not going to have all of the lineups. So we're going to have, just enough, I feel, to make some really solid core plays and some core lines. So we're going to do that at 4 o'clock tomorrow. Okay? So, of course, if you're not following me on Twitter, go hit me up, follow me on Twitter. If you're into Bovada, Betonline, you get into that stuff, man. Follow the link in the description that's going to be to this video. Get into that. Also, if you are on DraftKings, man, keep it 200. If you're on FanDuel, keep it 250. And if you remember the sweatshop, you know what you're doing. You always keep it at 300. Peace.